everybody. I'm Elwirfy, as always. Thank you all so much for the support that you've been giving so far. I've really appreciated it. I don't really know how else I can express how grateful I am to everybody who's been helping out and supporting the channel and bringing us to where we are now. So I just wanted to give a quick little shout out to everybody who's been, so gracious. And honestly, I don't think I really ever thought we'd get to this point where we are in my channel's career, where we really are getting much closer to our goal, and I'm really excited to see how things will progress and what kind of a wonderful community we're going to bring. And community is really important because that's kind of the main thing that I wanted to be talking about today, because community is one of the only comforts some YouTubers have. All right, why is that? Well, the simple truth of the matter, it can be broken down into a couple things for what we're talking about. One, loneliness is an often really big factor in the process of going through working on a YouTube channel. You have to understand that if you're going to be starting out, you're probably not going to have support, your IRL people, or at least I don't really have too much support. My wife obviously supports me, but like I know growing up, my parents, they would always say, oh yeah, there's all these people who are being rich off of, playing video games, or there's people who are, doing their best to try and get rich quick, or they're trying to, trick people into wanting to hang out with them. Like, I don't know. Because every time I would talk about my dream of like being successful on YouTube, they'd often shut it down and they'd be like, no, there's no way that you're going to do that. And I don't think it was out of malice. I think it was just because they didn't want to build up my expectations of becoming something wonderful. Granted, we're sitting here, 10 plus years later, and admittedly, success has not really been a big part of my YouTube career. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. You can't always, just fix everything instantly. So that's something that I think is really important to understand, is the fact that when you go to make a YouTube channel, or when you're making YouTube stuff, at the end of the day, it's on you, right? We're completely on our own. There's nothing we can really do to kind of prevent that. And the other thing that's important to understand, beyond the fact that there's your own personal loneliness, is the fact that often you won't see lots of community engagement right away. And right away is, I'm being abstract on purpose. I'm being vague because who knows what right away is for your channel, right? I have no idea what it would mean. It could be right away is, a couple months, could be a couple years, a decade, and you try and branch out and you want to do these different things, right? So that way your stuff becomes more popular, or at least more interesting to viewers. So that way you'll get better engagement, or you'll get better interactions in such a way that you feel less lonely, right? So those are the two big things, right? Loneliness, and not only from yourself in IRL, in the real world, but also from the internet itself, having to go through making these videos and doing your best to try and do the best that you can. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't work out. So let's think about some solutions for like mental health wise. I think the biggest thing that's been helping me, and I talked about this in my motivation video, but I wanted to reemphasize the fact that you got to just kind of, I hate to say it, but some days you do kind of just have to force yourself to put something out. Obviously, you don't want to always express that. I mean, you can. I probably made the mistake of expressing when I'm tired or when I'm not feeling interested in making a video. Obviously, I've had much more fun making these discussion videos because it seems like people have really resonated with them, because it's allowed them to kind of feel connected. And I don't know, I like being able to talk to you guys and, get responses and stuff. I think it's really helpful and important to the health of the YouTube channel that I'm able to go ahead and create a community where we're able to talk about pretty much any topic we want. Speaking of which, I haven't mentioned it much in these videos, but feel free to comment a topic if you have like questions about like the experience of being a small YouTuber. Because shoot, this is it, right? This is like a small YouTuber's experience of being small forever and watching people who start after you just kind of blow up out of nowhere and stuff, seemingly doing the same stuff that you do. But there's a couple different things. Anyway, solutions mental health wise. First off, the one big thing that you can do is to not let the opinions of people IRL get taken to heart. All right. I mean, I know it sounds sad because you would think, oh, you want to take good advice from the people who are around you, but the truth is, if their opinions are negative in any way, it's going to hurt so much more than any positive thing they might say, because the negative comment is backed up by much more evidence of a lack of success just due to you being a small YouTuber. Like, that's just the facts. There's no way to get around it, right? So any negative thing that you do here, it's going to be rough. So something that some people do. Let's not mess with the scroll bar. Okay, some people do their best to avoid talking about. Oh God, I can't spell. Do their best to avoid talking about YouTube IRL. You know, they don't mention it to their friends. They don't mention it to their family. Heck, some people had to do it all in secret, I'm sure. I didn't take that approach. I was much more public, and I decided to just kind of tough it out, which probably isn't the healthiest thing to do, but I just kind of toughed it out and was thinking, okay, if it someday, somebody's going to watch it, and it's going to like be really meaningful to them, and they're going to like really get true value out of it. And that didn't happen for a while until like right now, right? When we're starting to see the channel explode. You know, I got like 60 views on like multiple videos in a row. That's crazy for me. This channel has never been so successful in that way, in the fact that we're able to reach so many people, and so many people have enjoyed it and come back, right? Oh my goodness, the amount of people coming back, or at least new people being exposed to it, is really heartwarming to see that I'm making things that are in fact able to be connected with other people, right? And that's incredible, right? So what's another solution that we can have, right? So say you do want to talk about your channel and you just, I don't know, you just can't help yourself. Well, another thing to do is go online and try your best to find people to relate your own struggle to, even if it doesn't quite fit. All right, so there's a lot of ways that you can do this, and I do probably need to explain this one in depth because I'm just telling you solutions that I did. I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. Please don't take my stuff as if I'm an expert. But what I did to try and help myself was I would go online and I would try and find like people who like really, really are doing their best to help people. That's why I recommended Devin Nash, the YouTube channel, because I think ultimately in terms of just growing content or making content that people really want to see, I felt like he had the most experience with what he was doing. He seemed very qualified, and he didn't seem like he was bullshitting or he was saying anything that was like super wrong or clickbaity, not like other advice channels where they have all the flashy colors and the cool lights and stuff, which is really cool. And I love editing is great, and we'll talk about editing in another video. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's kind of about the way someone makes you feel, right? Because you like, again, kind of going back to like the purpose of YouTube. YouTube was made to be a dating site. Now it's more about connecting with people through videos. I feel like because YouTube is set up in this way where the interaction does happen after after the video's already been made, it makes kind of the community building a little harder if the content creator's not willing to go ahead and reply to those comments. And you'll see as people get bigger, the people will reply to less and less comments, and that's just a fact of it. There's nothing you can do to get around it. I obviously try my very best as a small YouTuber to respond to every single comment that I can that is reasonable to respond to. Obviously, if people get trolly or weird, or like there's clearly bot comments, I'm not going to reply to those. But if there's like actual genuine comments about like any topic, right, or like anything relating to YouTube or gaming or anything like that, I definitely would want to try and reply. So go online and try to find people that make it easier for you to internalize what you're doing. I would say is the best way to motivate for you, or at least to feel less alone, right? Because here's the hard truth. Nobody cares about you until you care about yourself. I mean, you could give the same advice to people who are trying to like date, right? You have to work on yourself, and you have to make sure that what you're doing is something that you enjoy and that brings you happiness. Because if you're doing something that doesn't fit with you or isn't something you like, people will see it. All right, they can tell. All right, it's not hard to tell. You'll notice that, and it's super disheartening, right, when you see a video that blows up because some guy made like a weird animation or made a weird noise, and it was 30 seconds with like 2 million views, and it's nutty and crazy how high up it is, and you could put a ton of work, especially for the animation people. They put in hours and hours of work, and sometimes they don't get nearly as many views. But I do think that whatever you are doing, if you just work at it and you make sure that you enjoy the content you create, and if the content you create is something that you enjoy, I think people will follow. I think that you just need to work hard to be better yourself, and I honestly think you'll succeed, or at least that's how I feel about it. Anyway, guys, I'm Elwirfy. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, all of your subscriptions, and especially the views. Honestly, the views mean so much to know that we're building a wonderful community together. Obviously, feel free to leave a comment. I love interacting with you guys, being able to talk to you about anything. Honestly, you can talk. I'll talk to you about anything, pretty much, as long as it's not like trolly or spammy, right? But yeah, guys, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys next time.